The area around Ramstein Village in Germany is home to over 50,000 American military personnel and their families. August 28, 1988, at Ramstein Air Force Base, 300,000 people have turned out for Flugtag, the annual air show. Many in the crowd have their camcorders, expecting to capture the excitement of precision flying teams. But their tapes, shot from so many different angles, end up as part of an air disaster investigation.
The Flugtag at Ramstein has been an annual event since about the 1950s. People start lining up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Everybody brings their whole families.
Hi.
I had my husband Joe and my son Kevin, and we all went to Flugtag together. Don't fall, Kevin. Kevin is quite an airplane buff.
I like planes. I like the sound, the speed, you know, the agility. It's a lot of fun to get to go into like the cockpit. And that was really neat.
This is a Tour de France French air team.
Flugtag, it shows what the military family is all about because everybody helps. I was a volunteer. I volunteered to work at the air show. It's a very fun job.
Wave to all your fans there, Hoppy. I'm having you on film.
I got to know a lot of the pilots personally, especially the Italian guys. They're a lot of fun. They like women in all sizes and all shapes, and we got along really, really well.
They will split into sections.
You build up a special friendship. We'd go and buy all kinds of things for their wives and their girlfriends. We did an awful lot of nice things together.
The green, white, and red, the color of the Italian flag that we proudly fly here today.
The Italian demonstration team, the Frici Tricolori, are the most daring of the best. They just really make you gasp, like, you know, this is really great. They do stunts that others would only dream to do.
The section then will draw in the sky the shape of a heart.
The heart stunt is a very, very complicated maneuver. And what that's supposed to symbolize is their love for you as a spectator. What they do is they form a huge, huge heart where 5 planes go on one side, 4 planes go on the other, and the lone solo pilot shoots through the center of the heart and does a piercing arrow through. It's very dramatic, which is why they always close up the show. After that, no one else can come close.
Taking off now is the Italian group, the Frici Tricolori.
And when the Italian team took off, I stood up and, you know, cheered them on, and I was really looking forward to it.
My friend Mario, the lead pilot, that was his last performance, and he wanted to have some pictures of the air show so that he could have it for his family. He asked me, you know, would I do a video for them? And I said, no problem.
Climbing up and splitting into sections, drawing in the sky the shape of a heart. The solo will split from the formation. Ladies and gentlemen, the cardioid break, fighting divers.
When I was taking my film, I had it centered on Mario.
I knew something was wrong. You hear, oh shoot, and that's me. So I was already in motion when they hit, and they flew into the crowd.
All you do at that split second is run. Planes are cartwheeling down at 500 miles an hour with a ball of flame.
I I just knew that I was going to get burned up. The heat was incredible. And I just ran as fast as I could. I stopped when the heat subsided. I turned around. Everything was burnt. Everything was gone. All I saw was smoke and fire all around me.
And I said to myself, not today. Don't have my friend kill me. I just remember going down and having this big ball of flames going over me. In 1 second of your life, you think of a lifetime of thoughts. And you just keep saying, please, don't let it end like this. Not to my family. When I stood up, I knew that I was going to have to face the toughest ordeal of my life. There was thousands of people that were in motion. And in the middle of all this, I started looking for my son. I was just frantic.
I saw this figure through the smoke that was getting up, so I headed towards the person. And it turned out to be my mom.
Kevin came out from behind me and grabbed a hold of me.
And it just felt like a huge weight was lifted off my heart, you know. I found somebody that I recognized and loved, and it was just incredible relief.
It was the best feeling, just to have him there. And then we just kept thinking, oh my God, where's Dad? Where my husband was standing was a burnt-out shell of an ice truck that was completely blown apart. I kept thinking, don't let my son see this.
It's a major catastrophe.
My father was standing right in front of the snow cone machine when I first noticed him.
All I could think of was grabbing you and you had already run. And then I couldn't find you guys.
I had found my son. He was alive. I found my husband. He was alive. My family made it.
Oh God, I saw that whole thing on the thing. I have it on my tape. I'm going to ask them if they want me to turn it in.
I've worked on so many accident boards that I felt it was very, very important to catch the event so they can determine what caused the accident. Everybody was misplaced. People were looking for their loved ones. There were people who were true heroes helping other people. The local base paper showed this man literally run in the flames. He went after his baby.
The immediate thought that went through my mind was to save myself and get out. But it just took a matter of 2 seconds, and I realized that I had family members there. My wife, Tammy, and my son, JJ.
Hi, JJ. JJ loves planes. So we got there at 7:30 in the morning for a good seat.
We were sitting directly in behind a little white car.
Right in the very front and in the center.
JJ was 2 years old at the time, and he was sleeping on the ground directly in front of us.
It was like a split second before he hit it. I stood up and said, oh my God. And that was all I said. And then it was silent. Everybody was very quiet.
I was taking a photograph, and the next thing I knew, I was flying back through the air.
When the plane impacted, it threw me. Jeff was next to me, and he took my hand, and somehow or some way ended up being together when we landed.
I explained to Tammy that there's a possibility of secondary explosions, and for her to stay there, and I went out looking for JJ.
I thought JJ was dead. There was a line of fire, and he was only a couple feet away from it.
Pure terror rips through your heart. It was almost as if I knew exactly where he was because I found him right away. He was partially entangled in some concertina wire, and there was just a big wall of flames. It couldn't have been more than 10 or 15 foot behind him.
JJ held up his arms for him.
And then he asked for Daddy. I picked him up gently, very gently, to not injure him any more than what he was.
And ran as fast as he could away from it.
I remember where the first aid station was, so we just went the most direct route to get there.
The extent of his burns were too deep and too much for him to be taken care of there.
We were medevaced back to the United States because of the severity of JJ's burns.
As a mother, whenever her child is hurt, you want to take the pain away, and you wish you could trade places with them, but I knew I couldn't. There were times when
your baby's got to go through all those different operations that they described. It was something you don't want to hear.
I still think about the people that were there. I wonder about the two little girls that were standing next to me, and I never knew what happened to them, and I wonder about them a lot.
Right after the plane hit, I turned and saw the smoke going up and started to run toward it. All I knew was the smoke was awfully close to the front side of the crowd. And I saw the people running toward me, panic in their eyes. When I first came up, I realized there was work to be done. My job as on-scene commander is to pull together the team that will take care of saving lives up there. This was a major disaster with large numbers of casualties. We would be responding literally with all the assets we could pull in. One of the things that really impressed me was the tremendous number of volunteers out of the crowd who were coming back toward the smoke and helping. The injured very quickly had people there taking care of them. After the accident, the three countries involved, the Americans, the Italians, and the Germans, cooperated in an accident investigation. A call was made for anyone who might have made a tape of the accident or the scene. Video allows you to see facts as they happened. Before video cameras, the investigators would be just dependent on the verbal description of what people saw. And people routinely see things from different angles, and therefore the facts look different to them.
The love that we brought all over the world. The solar was split from the...
There were 3 airplanes that crashed. The solo aircraft hit the ground in front of the crowd. The other 2 airplanes went down on the far side of the runway, well away from the crowd. And all 3 of those pilots were killed. There were approximately 500 people injured. And there were 70 people who either were killed at the scene or who died later of injuries. There's no question that the videotapes were very valuable to those trying to understand how the accident happened and learn about the response that day. I'm very, very proud of the tremendous response from both professionals and volunteers. It was a major factor in saving lives. It was a tremendous tragedy, and the grief was shared by all.
The section downward roll in the sky, the shape of a heart. That shows our love for all of you.
It's very hard to think that their symbol of love could kill. It was like I had a spirit within me that said, they're not there, your friends are gone.
The video assisted investigators in determining pilot error as the cause of the accident. Since this tragedy, there has not been another aerial demonstration at Ramstein. Little J.J. McCanch survived his injuries. He's now 6. However, he faces more surgery. We'll return in a moment.